For my subpopulation presentation, I decided to go with students with disabilities. First, we have to determine what a disability is. According to the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, to determine a disability, an individual must have a physical or mental impairment that limits one or more of the major life activities and a record of such impairments. Students with disabilities may include those with a learning disability, a permanent health condition, a mental health condition, as well as those with visual disabilities, auditory disabilities, and physical disabilities. Retention. Students with disabilities are more likely to have delayed enrollment into college. Because of this, student retention for this population is hard to determine. Only half of these students enrolled with disabilities earn a degree, compared to 2/3 of their non-disabled peers. For half of those students with disabilities, it takes them twice as long to complete their degrees. Services and programs. Programs like SSS, which is Student Support Services, and other disability programs have been formed to provide services for students with disabilities. For instance, Murray State has a Student Support Services, but many don't know that Murray State also has a Students with Disabilities office that helps students with the transition from high school to college, offers them mentors for classes they are taking, and offers testing accommodations for their tests within those classes. Student Support Services is offered on many campuses within the United States, but a Students with Disability office is not. Student Support Services is to provide opportunities for academic development, assist students with basic college requirements, and to motivate students towards the completion of their degree. The goal of SSS is to increase graduation rates for their students. The difference between these two is SSS can support any student on campus. Students with disabilities has to go by the law of which students they can help provide services to. Shared needs. Accommodations are changes in testing materials or procedures that enable students to participate in ways that focus on their abilities but not on their disabilities. Without accommodations, some of these students' knowledge and skills may not be measured correctly. Presentation, materials, response, settings, time, and schedule. Presentation, like repeating the directions, reading them aloud, large print, and braille, will help the student. Materials like a calculator for those who aren't as good at math. Responses like marking the answers in a book for students who can't write, who have a physical disability that stops them from writing, or students who have recently broke their arm. Settings. So, study rooms to allow the student time to study, time to look over their material in a distraction-free area. Separate rooms, allowing the student to take a test, a quiz, in another room away from distractions within the classroom. Timing and scheduling. Extended time, allowing the student time to take a test out of the classroom at a different time, or allowing them more time to gather their thoughts, to relax about the test, to figure out the answers. Frequent breaks allow the student to take a breather from their test, if needed. Challenges. Bullies, misunderstanding, discrimination, and no accommodations. Bullying, yes, okay. This is more of a high school thing, But because of being bullied in high school, a student may not use the services offered to them in college because of this fear. They fear that someone will look down on them, someone will pressure them into doing something that they didn't want to do, stuff like that. Misunderstanding. This can happen when a student won't tell their professor about their disability or let others know in order to provide their services or help them improve their college experience. Discrimination. Students not receiving their services they have been offered, or a professor refusing to allow the student to use them in their classroom. No accommodations. The college not offering any support for the student whatsoever. Professional associations and advocacy groups. Professional associations. First, I found the American Association of People with Disabilities. This is designed to promote an equal opportunity and independent living for individuals with disabilities. Next, the National Center for Learning Disabilities. The mission of the National Center of Learning Disabilities is to improve the lives of the 1 in 5 children and adults nationwide with learning and attention issues by empowering parents and young adults, transferring schools, and advocating for equal rights and opportunities. Adversary groups. Adversary for Children of New York. Advocates for Children of New York has been protecting and promoting educational rights for students with disabilities for the past 40 years. Next, the Learning Disability Associations of America. LDA, Learning Disabilities Associations, believes that every person with a learning disability can be successful at school, at work, in relationships, and in the community, given the right opportunity. Are just two of the many groups dedicated to support these individuals with disabilities. Recruitment. Word of mouth is one of the greatest ways on a campus of getting this out. Many students don't know that there are services for them out there. For the ones with the disabilities, for the ones with no disabilities, still, they don't understand that there are services that they can use. High school accommodations. So if a student received accommodations in high school, it can carry over into college with them receiving the same accommodations. Teachers and counselors. Teachers and counselors can offer support by informing the students of services offered to them. And like I said, this was the same as word of mouth. Alright. So, that's the end of my presentation of Students with Disabilities. My name is Jordan Brock, and here are the references that I used during my presentation. Thank you.